let's do this. It was definitely not the blizzard of 24, but we got a little bit of snow. It's kind of pretty. It's the one thing I'll give snow. It looks kind of pretty till they start moving it. Where am I at? I got to use the new headphones. I didn't realize I needed to charge them up. I didn't realize I needed to set them, and I didn't even realize there was an on switch on them. So it was like an exercise in futility, I guess. Yeah, that was a little fun to do. But I got them working. They're absolutely awesome. Very similar headphones, but they were actually wireless, but I always kept the wire in because I felt that it was always better safe than sorry. These, they have to sit on the charger. If they don't sit on the charger right or backwards, they don't charge. And I had them backwards for pretty much almost the entire first day. As soon as I unboxed them and I set them up, they were sitting on the charger backwards and not charging. So I was wondering why they weren't working. What a difference putting them on the charger and then, getting them actually charging me. Holy cow. There is an on switch, which I left it on, which I don't know if that's going to hinder the charging or not. Probably should turn it off. It actually has when that switch is on, so you can actually hear. It actually has a light that goes from green to yellow to red. So it's actually a little cool. So I'm loving the headphones. Let's get to what we were originally talking about, which is you. Yay, let's talk about you. Even if you weren't in on the joke, even if the things that you've done, I've made fun of in the past, if you watch any of my videos, any of them, or maybe not the parody videos, but any of the videos where I'm just basically rambling, which I have a lot of them, you're in on the joke just by default of watching the video. So if I'm talking about, well, I was gonna say, if I'm talking about a group of people, I usually don't talk about a group of people. I'm usually talking about an individual. And if you are the individual and you watch my video, thank you for watching. But my rants and raves and stuff like that are not directed at you as a person. They're directed at the actions. I don't know if that makes sense. I think a lot of people mistake confrontational nature as a personal attack. And I don't usually attack people. I attack ideas. I attack concepts. It's the reason why I say I don't like bullying, because everybody has the potential to be a bully. It's when you have the opportunity to bully, whether you take it or you don't. And a person could be a bully for most of their life, and all they have to do is make the decision to not be a bully, and you're no longer a bully. I believe in recompense and all the other stuff that I talk, I'll talk your ear off on. It's like the other day when somebody was talking about painting, and I was like, I could talk forever about paint, on how it's made, how it is, how to apply it. Its one job is to dry. People forget that. Paint will do, paint doesn't think, but because of the way they made paint, it will do anything in its power to become a solid. To go from a liquid to a solid. And when people forget that that's its job, that's the one thing that it does, it doesn't have to be applied, it doesn't have to be a part of a masterpiece, or even paint a wall, cover a wall. It doesn't have to do any of that stuff. Its one job is to dry. And like I said, I could talk for hours about that. It's not I would say that's like one of my philosophies, but I don't really have a philosophy on it. It's years of dealing with it and what I've come to know. And am I open to change? I want to say yes, but the truth of the matter is that it's very difficult for me to change. I think it's because I've been gullible. I've been taken advantage of. My naivete, as it was, on matters. Taking everything that basically give up things to have these beliefs in the way that I do things. And like, I always think that when I have conversations with people, they don't know that the casualness of my conversation and stuff like that. This isn't like, oh, it's like I just have the ability to tell you how I feel. And I want the person that I'm having the conversation with to feel comfortable to tell me how they feel. I'm interested in that. Even though I might attack the idea, even though I might, present a different posture. Even though all of that stuff. Trying to think of what I was trying to say. It's not like, oh, this came easy. Understanding has always been, my drive, and I think without working towards understanding, because I don't have instant understanding either, but without working towards understanding each other, I don't think that I could converse. Because of my introverted nature, there is a part of me that wants that. To not have interaction, to not be a part of, to not belong. Diametrically opposing natures. And sometimes the result is something that nobody's ever seen before. It's like the expression of like every story has all been told. I don't believe that. Every movie has already been played out. Every way has already been done this. The only difference is that the technology if ever they say that this is a movie that they could not have done in the 30s, I'm one of these people that believes that it could have been done. You can do it without technology. I think that, even me, I think that I'm trained for the spectacle. But the spectacle does not make a good movie, in my opinion. And sometimes the simplest effects are the best effects. There's a special effects that I've always loved, and it's basically a magic trick, as opposed to being CGI or something like that. And I think a lot of filmmakers forget that they can actually do sleight of hand. Hand is quicker than the, going with the idea that the hand is quicker than the camera lens, and you don't need CGI, you don't need all that stuff. And I know this is an old way of thinking, but you can do that. You can have all those effects. There's a reason in my mind the stop motion photography that they did on the original King Kong is still better than that movie is still better than every single King Kong movie that's ever been done. Because they had to build the props, they had to build the things, and they used camera tricks and camera angles and camera this, and I have gone on a tangent which was not what I intended to do. But I love talking about movies, so that's what we'll do right now. I think somebody was doing the same idea that I had, because supposedly we were closed today. Well, this parking lot that I'm in right now, supposedly everything is closed. Because we didn't get the foot of snow that they were talking about, and I am so freaking early. I don't even need this. I don't even need this. That it's something that I wish that they would go back to. I'm a practical effects person, so yeah, I didn't even learn how to digitally draw until 3 years ago. It's one of the weird things about me, I would think, because every time I see like an apocalyptic movie and everything like that, and I think most people have become so reliant on all this technology and all these things that even the movie itself that's being made is done in spectacle form. And if it's an apocalypse, I don't know how most people would survive. And yes, there's the freaking survivalists and stuff like that make their own bullets and whatnot, and people know how to take care of that stuff, but I wish I didn't have such a black thumb that I could learn how to grow food. But yeah, That's not where my mind works. I think I don't know. I like I said, I don't even know what I'm talking about. What I wanted to talk about is why you are important, and we are. You are a part of this conversation. You are part of the discussion of ideas. The interjection. The thing I love about streaming is that people have the opportunity, and not a single one of my, well, I almost said it, with the exception of every collab that I've ever done. My these are not interjections of ideas and concepts and thing. These are just my assertion of the concepts and everything that I have that that I've already, I'm just spewing things that I already know. I would love to just basically do streams where people come in and throw out their ideas, and we have arguments and discussions about it and talk about it. I would love to do that with movies and things like that. I've watched people's reviews, and they're doing reviews that look like they're more of like reaction of the movies, and I'm not really into like talking about the reaction of the movie. I'm more interested in talking about the movie. I'd rather have like people who've already seen so far every movie night that I've had has been a movie I've already seen. And somebody put forth the idea, because they're like, if you had $50,000 to explain 80% of a movie, or to rehash 80% of a script, do you think you could do it? And I was thinking of a couple of movies that I could do that with. But then again, I'm like going, my memory isn't what it used to be. And I think about Bram Stoker's Dracula, which isn't the second most sold book ever. It is probably the most translated book next to the Bible, but it isn't the number 2 book. But when I was 12 or 13, I read Bram Stoker's Dracula, and it happens to be one of the books that, when I read it and I thought about the concept of vampires and everything like that, and it solidified a lot of things in my mind. And I was fairly religious at the time I read it, so I had the concepts of Christianity and everything like that in my head, and what it meant to be damned and everything like that. And added all that into the story that I read. So it was like I rewrote the entire story from reading it. And then I remember when, yeah, and I hadn't read it for like ever. I haven't reread it forever. And then the Dracula movie came out with Gary Oldman as Vlad, and even Keanu Reeves was in it. And with a bad English accent. And I remember watching this movie, and I was like going, "That's not the story." And I had to actually reread the book in order to realize, like, going, that is the story. And what I had remembered was an entirely different story. And I almost felt like from that moment that I should write the story that I remembered when I was 13, as opposed to, because it's, like I said, it's a completely different story, as opposed to the actual Bram Stoker's Dracula. It's an amazing thing. And then of course the Shadows of the Vampire came out, and that was about the movie Nosferatu, which I also liked, and a lot of really interesting concepts that they threw into that, as well as the story of Dracula. But I would love to talk about stuff like that. I would love to have conversations with people about that. And again, I have an introverted nature, so I don't know the protocols. I'd have to have the conversation with people that know me and know what we're talking about, and know that it's not a battle to win. It's a battle to discuss. It's a battle. You are basically going to war with me, so that we can talk about these wonderful concepts. And I don't think I've ever had that. And I have to admit, I'm definitely a bit gun shy. My suspension has definitely changed my perspective on how I view streaming and what I wanted to use streaming for. I think that the reverting back to here and doing the live streams here on YouTube has been very advantageous to my streaming, to how I feel about streaming. And it's one of the reasons why I'm circling back, and it's the reason why I'm once I get something in my head while I'm doing these morning commutes, I go off on those tangents, as opposed to discussing the things that I really want to be discussing, because those are important as well, and it's what popped into my mind. I know that my brain doesn't work like kind of linearly. And maybe that's one of the things that I'm kind of expecting from people, is to kind of help me formulate these and even defend my ideas. Yeah, I don't have that. In my life, and I think that because that's always been missing, is one of the main reasons that I have not felt like I belonged. The There are wonderful things going on, and sometimes I have to realize, like, streaming might not be what I want it to be. And I don't know of anybody. I don't know of a single person who's a streamer that has this. I don't even have a reference to it. I have basically crazy notions and ideas, and I think it's one of the main reasons why when I bring stuff up like this and I tell people to be yourself and to do it your own way, is because I'm trying to find that small that small niche that of streamers that actually is my community. That's actually, my family, and they will welcome me not just as a peer, but as a person, as a contributor. Am I willing to build that? Yes. Am I willing to do it by myself for as long as it takes? Yes. But when I see people and other streamers, and that's the example of, what is a successful streamer and what is, they really don't fit into that anymore. And that includes, and I hate to even say it, that includes people like Iron Mouse. That includes, the people that you would know. And there's nothing wrong with, who they are and the entertainment value that they provide. But they are definitely not part of my community. I might be a part of their community, but I definitely see that I can see it, and I've seen it for a long time, that don't think it's advantageous to them to be a part of this. Definitely think that their unique self is so valuable that I don't even think that they know how to put a price on it. And I will put myself in that. I think that my unique self is so valuable that, the amount of money that I could earn from Twitch, and I feel that Twitch is taking too much. Because they're not giving me their unique self. They're not giving me anything. They're barely even providing a platform for me to stream on. And all the freaking emotes in the world, which, let's be realistic, that's the only thing that they provide. But all the freaking emotes in the world does not justify, because I build those emotes, or in most people's cases they paid somebody for those emotes, and all Twitch is doing is providing a place for them. 3 lines of code is not worth 50% of your freaking earnings. I'm more valuable than what Twitch is willing to pay me. And if I ever become monetized on YouTube, I'm definitely more valuable. I definitely think that these videos and everything like that are more valuable than what YouTube pays me, because YouTube doesn't pay me at all. But I think when YouTube does pay me and they're adding in ads and we're generating revenue there, I don't think that it's that. I think that because they're not siphoning into my viewers, not convincing my viewers to give money, that it's more worth it, because my viewers can give me money if they want, if they feel that I'm valuable. If they feel that I'm valuable, to pay for the things. I would never stop somebody. I would never stop somebody from saying, like, those slimes that you made, the slime you made me, is worth to me X dollars. I wouldn't say no. And yeah, they could say it's only worth $5, or they can say it's worth $50 or whatever. I wouldn't stop them from paying me, but they don't have to. And it's one of the reasons why I feel like with Twitch, like, to buy a subscription, saying your stream is worth $5 to me, and Twitch says, well, their $5 is only worth $2.50 to you. I mean, really, that's really what it boiled down to. And sponsorships and all that other stuff that I've dabbled in are just not worth it. I looked at the potential earnings that I could have had, and I'm glad that a lot of sponsorships, some of them don't require people to put money up, but it does require them to put their time in, so that I can earn money. And their time is not really valuable It's a whole freaking crazy thing. I gotta go to work. As always, put cool beans in the comments below. Or just write whatever comments you want. People have already been doing that, and I find it awesome. Thank you for all the birthday wishes. Thank you for all the birthday things. Um, like I began this with talking about those headphones. Those headphones are one of the most amazing things that have ever happened, and I'm really sad to say that um, you know because the person was close enough to me, Throne didn't get their cut, and they paid less, in which I'm very happy that happened. Um, you know, Throne has made some money off of me, which is fine, but Throne has to exist for a reason. But Throne needs me. I don't need Throne. That's how I want it to always be. Twitch needs me. I don't need Twitch. YouTube needs me. I don't need YouTube. And I think if I build the community that I'm working on, and we will see, plant the seeds now for this year, we will see where those things grow into. And hopefully it goes beyond YouTube. Hopefully it goes beyond Twitch or Twitter or all of those. It would make me so happy if we can be beyond that, or even Discord. Just be beyond all of that and have a community. Nobody the information that I have, I don't want anybody to ever feel like they have to pay for it, that you ever have to buy in to belong in my community, which is really our community. I don't want anybody to ever feel it. It's one of my freaking rules on Discord. There is no mandatory pay. I would love to be able to make a living doing this, but not at that price. Your ideas, your time, the things that you contribute mean so much more to me than money. And I sometimes ask myself, have I given back equal or more than what's been given to me? And have I done enough? And even if I said yes, I'm going to always want to do more. And so with that, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a fantastic time doing it and enjoying every single second of it. All right. Take care. All right. Bye.